Good evening, Cardinal Ambrozic. Good evening to all of our followers and viewers, those of you in Dufferin Peel, those of you in the Archdiocese of Toronto, St. Patrick's Parish, our family, friends, parents. Welcome to Spilling Tea. Hello, Alan. Hello, Sarah Elizabeth Center. There you are, Chris. Great. Just stay right there, and we'll get you on here in no time. Hello to everyone, and welcome again to Spilling Tea, where this week we will have with us Cris Smith, the Executive Director of Sarah Elizabeth Center. Trust me, you will not want to miss this episode. But as we begin, let us always begin in song. And this week's song, chosen by Cris herself, is called Guide My Way. Now, this song was composed by Black Veil. This was a band back in 2006 when their charity was started. This was the Smith family. It was the boys that started this band with Cris. This song is the last song on the CD that Donnie, one of her sons, had composed and also recorded. It is very special because it is the inspiration to one of the titles of one of the books that Cris wrote called The Heart of Listening. So everyone, enjoy the song as we begin to invite everyone, or begin to say hello to everyone who is joining us this evening. Hello, Sarah. Welcome, Sarah. Hello, Nero. Glad to have you, Nero. Nicholas, hello. Naz, hello. Saveria, good to see you, Saveria. Hi, Christina. Oh my goodness, we got a full house already. Hello to all of our parents. I can see that there are parents that are also watching from Cardinal Ambrozic. We're very excited. Now, Chris, are you with Sarah Elizabeth Center, or are you using your own hashtag? Let me know, because I might bring in Sarah Elizabeth Center. No, there you are. I got you, Chris. Stay right there. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. I got you. Hello, Chris. Luis. Hello, Luis. Welcome. Oh, my goodness. Sophia's here. They're all here. Very good. Donnie, is that you, Donnie? Yes, it is. It is Donnie, all right. Listen, I have been singing this song for days. I love it. I love it. Hello to the Smiths. Looks like we have a few Smiths in the house. Welcome. Welcome, Margarita. All right, guys. We'll be starting in a few minutes. So enjoy the tune. Again, Guide My Way. Written and composed, or actually composed and recorded by Donnie, one of Chris's sons. This from the band Black Veil Band. Blue Veil. Oh, I'm so sorry. Blue Veil Band. I apologize. Wow, we're excited. That's all I can tell you is I am excited. And I know that Cris is excited too. Although she will tell you she's a little nervous. But I don't believe so. I think she's ready. I think she's ready. Enjoy, everyone. Blue Veil, Guide My Way. Hello, Mark. Hello, Michalina. Good to see you, Michalina. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad you could join us. Oh, this is awesome. Full house already. Cris, you better be ready. All right, everyone, just a few minutes away. Enjoy. Oh my goodness, we're already getting comments back. Cris, confirmation retreats. You were great at confirmation retreats. Isn't that amazing? You've touched so many hearts. You've touched so many lives, Cris. So many lives. All right, everyone. Only a minute or so away, and we'll get started. Glad you can join us. Yes, Michalina, I'm looking forward as well to this evening. Cris is one remarkable woman, let me tell you. Amazing. And we'll probably hear amazing stories, too. All right, everyone, almost there. Nicholas Felicius, she is truly a Salesian, spirit of love. I love it. I love it, Nick. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Beatrice. Cardinal Ambrozic, Diana, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me? This is a beautiful song. Sorry if I'm interrupting with the beautiful lyrics. Americans are so away, and it's showtime. Yes, Marianne, we are excited too. Super Minardi, you seem hyper. Is it ever different, Alan? Come on. This is what it's always like. Hello, Izzy. Oh man, this is so exciting. So glad everyone can join us. All right, everyone. And again, Guide My Way from Blue Veil. Thank you so much. Wasn't that beautiful? So, welcome everyone to Spilling Tea, a safe space to be authentically you, a space to welcome the real you, a space that allows for your gifts to be shared with others, and ultimately a space to celebrate the goodness in others and their call to live out their ministry in the service to others. In all of this, we keep in mind our young students, our young people who are striving daily to find their true happiness and to seek their authentic gifts. This segment will allow for our students to hear the stories, the personal journey, the moments of vulnerability shared by our speakers who are loved unconditionally by a merciful and compassionate God, just as they are. And so as we spend the next hour together, if there are any questions or comments, you know where to put them. Put them right there in the comment field, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. We want to hear from you, so please don't be shy. So our special guest this evening is Cris Smith. Cris is the Executive Director of the Sarah Elizabeth Center in Vaughan. She is happily married with, get this, 9 children and 5 grandchildren. Yes, you heard correctly, 9 children and 5 grandchildren. Cris is an incredible presence and an extrovert. She is not shy at all. She is an extrovert, trust me. And if you think I'm loud, you have no idea what's coming. She has an incredible passion for social justice, for the care of the poor and vulnerable, and an ability to express her faith. But the most remarkable part of this woman is that she walks the talk. She is an author of 2 books. She is incredibly gifted and has so much wisdom to share regarding her faith, her personal life, her experiences, and her ability to take a dream and to create an incredible organization that just keeps on giving. I'm so excited that she's joining us this evening. So let's get started and spill some tea with you-know-who, Cris. You will be live in a matter of seconds. I hope you're ready, Cris. Let's see. There she is. Wonderful. All right.
Oh my goodness, Angelo.
Welcome, Cris. You look great.
You.
You look
Okay,
great.
now is this on right? Okay,
You're on.
good.
You are live to the social media world, Cris.
All right, thank you, Angelo. Oh my God, this is amazing.
How are you? Are you still nervous? Come on.
Yes, actually, believe it or not, the shoe's on the other foot. Like now I'm on this end, and this is not my comfortable zone. Technology. This is a totally different world. Okay, another world. So I get it. It's like trying to teach young people how to address an envelope or do a bank deposit. They don't know any of that, right?
They wouldn't. Hey, listen, when I first started this segment, which was during quarantine back in like April or May of this year, it was Nicholas Felice. It was one of our former students who's now studying to become a teacher.
Oh, awesome.
Who was helping me out in chaplaincy, and he said, Minardi, you got to get on the internet. You got to go live. You got to get on Instagram. So that's what started for me. Now look at us. We're on every week. So.
Oh, I love it. I know, and I what you're doing is such wonderful work. So
yeah,
great,
great.
Angelo. But can I say something? Your Spilling Tea title. Who came up with that?
That was Nicholas Felice. He's the master behind it.
Nicholas, hello. I know Nicholas too. I've had the pleasure of connecting with him too.
Yes.
Well, I think it's okay. There's obviously a reason he picked it, and I'm wondering. But what I felt in my heart when I heard that Spilling Tea, I thought how appropriate to have a name like that, because to me it speaks to my heart. It's Psalm 23, where my cup runneth over.
Very good.
And I always teach, at the retreats, how we always teach that when you're sharing your gifts, don't give from the cup that's half full. Don't even give from the cup that's full, because that's our job. We have to fill that cup. We have to get the Lord, to refuel us and everything. And it's from the overflow. It's from when it's spilling over. That's for everybody else. So I guess we're spilling tea today, right? Tonight.
We're spilling tea. And apparently that's a term our young people use. So, hey.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
But I think they use it more for like gossip, like,
oh,
like
okay.
being nosy. So we'll do some gossip and be nosy tonight.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. All right.
Oh my God. So Cris, listen, I hope you're as excited as I am. We have been waiting for this week for a while now. You listen. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
And I want you just to be Cris. I just want you to be who
enough.
you are.
Fair enough.
And as we go through this, there'll be questions from our viewers. So we'll even try to get to some of those questions as well. Okay.
God. Okay.
And so, but first of all, I just want to say. The introduction that I meant every word of it. Cris, you are a remarkable person. Like I said, you've changed lives. You've turned a dream into reality. You have a beautiful family that's, as much as I can see, is so involved in the work that you do as well. So we'll get to all of that, but let's begin easy. Let's do a few fast questions, a few simple ones. So, do you have a favorite?
Break me in, all right?
Do you have a favorite food? Let's begin there. Favorite food.
You know what? I'm gonna make my kids all go, "Ooh, gross!" But you know what? I was pregnant 9 times, and I don't know what it was, but I loved liver. Okay, so all my kids eat liver. I had cravings for liver.
Now,
so
do you eat liver with onions?
Oh,
that's good.
It works, liver. But but then I wasn't pregnant anymore, and then it's like, okay, now I can steal the chips, hide them, and I can eat them when I want to, just have my own chips. Okay, so chips is my favorite food. I can never do it when the kids are around, but I can do it now, right?
That's right. How about a favorite show or movie?
Oh my God, I'm gonna make you laugh. My kids asked me that question about a month ago.
Yes.
They said, "Ma, what's your favorite movie?" Well, I wanted to say Rocky.
Oh,
but
yes.
I said Rambo, and they all cracked up laughing.
Rambo.
It's the same actor, right? It's the same actor. I thought, well, wait a minute. Okay, Rocky. Anyway, but then there's also The Matrix. I like that one too.
Yes.
Right? I go, okay, Ma. We thought for sure it would be like the Christian, the spiritual. I go, of course, that's a given, but Rocky and The Matrix. I like, the theme behind it, the conquering, the winning, the eye of the tiger, the whole.
Absolutely. This question has already come up, but I'll ask you as well.
Okay.
Do you have like a favorite saint? Maybe someone that you like to pray with, or someone that you like to, ask for his or her intercession when you pray?
When I was a teenager and I was trying to discover this world of the faith and, because there's a journey, obviously, for some reason, if I lost things, I was always told, pray to St. Anthony, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I really started to see things happening. So I really started to pray to St. Anthony, especially when my kids were around or when they were losing things like St. Anthony, please come around. Jeff or Phil or Donnie or David or Joseph or Jonathan, Marianne, Sarah, Stephanie, lost something. Now needs to be found now because we're going to be late. Let's go.
Yes.
You know what? Sure enough, he came through. So St. Anthony's been really useful, And then there's all the other saints for whatever reasons I may need them. It's like, okay, I need this. So, I call on all the help I can get. Okay.
Very good. One more for you. And to be honest, you're so busy and you have such a big family. I'd be curious if there was ever a favorite family vacation spot or somewhere that maybe you were able to get away with your family or able to do.
We did. Well, I could just see my kids all cringing. We did a family one, and we went to Cuba.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. But we all got sick. And for like
no
a week
way.
And a half, like we were not enjoying it. So that was not the best, but what was so beautiful was that we were together.
Right.
But there were a few that we had done with half the family, and that was Hawaii. That one was a really nice one. That was beautiful,
Very nice.
But anytime we can get away, even if it's for me, it doesn't even have to be so far away. It's if we could just get away even to a cottage or anywhere that we can just get away from the city and just be together with the family.
Very cool.
So I knew my family were all going, okay.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your family. But before you tell me about kind of your kids and your husband, I don't know where you grew up, Cris. I don't know where you went to school, where you grew up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of where you were raised and then move into your family currently?
Okay, all right. Well, I'm actually an Italian immigrant. I was 4 months old when I came to Canada. Apparently, I came on a boat, you know, like, but yeah, I was raised here, and I was raised right in Toronto, the Dufferin, Bloor area.
Yes.
I went to school at St. Helens. I went to Central Commerce for high school.
Oh, wow.
So if there's any Central Commerce, you know, friends out there that might remember that school. And then I went to Ryerson. And then having gone to Ryerson, I met my husband, Don. That's where we actually met.
That's where you met. Okay.
Yes, we fell in love at Ryerson. So it was, you know, it's from that journey that way. But I'm the eldest of, I'm 3 girls and a boy. So I'm the eldest. So I've got that seniority in that sense, you know. And
right,
maybe because I think when you're the eldest, you have a certain personality. And when you're the baby, you have a certain personality. So, you know. So, and let's see, what else? My dad is still alive. My mom passed away, but my dad is still alive. He's 91 years old. God bless him.
God bless him, yeah.
So, and COVID's not been the greatest thing right now, but, you know, thank God he's okay. He's okay. He's got a caregiver. What else? Let's see. And then when I met my husband, I was finishing off our last year. And then I'll get into it maybe when I tell my story a little bit about
Yes, because I will ask you about that.
All right.
Yes.
But we did meet, and eventually we did get married, and yeah, we had lots of. My husband's an only child, so I knew that when we were gonna get married, he mentioned that we were gonna have lots of kids. But the problem was he kept, you know, giving me boys, boy, 6 boys, and then it's like, no, we're still going until I'm getting my girl. So my 7th, Marianne, was born, then Sarah, and then Stephanie. So my 3 last ones are girls. So it was pretty.
That's amazing. And just so that I'm not mistaken, so Blue Veil, when it started, that was just the boys singing? Was it all the boys, or who was the band?
When we started the charity, we had to come up with a name.
Yes.
Jeff had come up. Jeff got inspired to call it Blue Veil, and there's a story behind that too. But everything always has a story, right? But it was called Blue Veil Charity. But then when we got approved in the schools, like we wanted to promote awareness of Sarah Elizabeth Center, that's the program.
Yes.
Under the charity Blue Veil, because we're registered as a nonprofit charity. So we went to the schools, and we went to York Catholic to School, you know, all the different school boards, right? But the first one, I remember going to York Catholic to School board, where we had an opportunity to introduce ourselves. And that kind of opened a door where they asked us, because when we went in to present ourselves, I brought my sons, because we're the founders, right? So when they came in, we did a presentation, but of course we used music. When they saw that and realized that we had that in the background, that they were professional, you know, musicians and that, they asked us to come back to the school to do a presentation at one of their meetings, a chaplaincy meeting, actually.
Yes.
They said, would you come? We have a mass and you could play. And we went thinking, and then we could promote ourselves again just to create awareness. That opened a door because a chaplain came up to us and said, oh, would you be able to come to our school, Our Lady of in Keswick? And it was like on a Friday night because they were doing a fast for youth.
Yes.
And at 11 o'clock, the guys were on stage performing. And so we thought, okay, maybe we have to promote Sarah Elizabeth Center, but they're performing. They're actually doing a performance. And then from there, we began to realize that things would take time and we would have to move in that direction. So why not go in with the music? Why not let them, my sons, the older 4, since they were already in a band anyway, they're actually called Fairchild. They have their own band. They were doing their own thing. But for the charity, let's create Blue Veil Band. So it's not about them, because it wasn't about them trying to promote themselves rather than promote the charity, and music was such an important component. So Blue Veil Band, and that's when then the guys really got inspired, and they felt that a CD was really something that they were being called to do, so that when we did go into the schools and whatever, we also had the opportunity where we could offer the CDs as a way of generating funds, but creating more awareness as well. And the boys themselves had come up with all the originals, and that's where Donnie, it was that was it. The thing was ready to go to whatever it's called, print or whatever. My kids are probably laughing at the words I'm using, but you know. And Donnie that particular day said, guys, I have this one last song. I got inspired. I got the words. He says, listen to it. What do you think? And they listened to it and they said, yeah, let's do it. We have to put it in. It was the 11th song, and it went right at the end, and it got put into the CD. And I remember when I, wrote the book, that became the impetus, the nucleus for me to say, that's it. That's a confirmation of my title, right? Can you hear me? Yeah. So, okay. I'm all over the place, but okay. You know where I'm going.
No, that's
so
good.
Blue Veil Band is the band from the charity that we felt was important part of the journey, right? So
Okay. And I wanted to let you know there's one of our listeners, Severia.
Okay.
She mentioned that she remembers the days of Blue Veil.
Oh my God.
She said we had Blue Veil at Immaculate Conception School several
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
very cool. Nicholas Felice also says that you had also gone to his elementary school. I believe it was it Bassett? Would it have been? No, that would have been before. Maybe in Malton, his school in Malton. Nicholas, what school was that? If you could let us know at some point what school that was.
Yeah.
So, Cris, let me ask you then, because
Okay.
I want you to talk about Sarah Elizabeth Center, just an amazing place. But I want you to I want you to lead us through this. So, Blue Veil, then the charity, how did that play a role into, if you will, the creation of Sarah Elizabeth Center, the program, or did it, or did it not play a role? How did that all happen? And then talk to us about Sarah Elizabeth Center.
Okay, awesome. That's wonderful. You know, it's funny, you're asking questions that I'm sure that even families that go to Sarah Elizabeth Center, they are aware of what it is because they're participating, but it's almost like, wait, how did it begin? And then you've got students that may remember us, they may remember more Blue Veil than they do Sarah Elizabeth Center. But the reality was Sarah Elizabeth Center was always the vision. It was the center that was going to be open for young adults with special needs, so that we could run day programs, seasonal camps, like all the programs we run now. That was the intention right from the beginning in 2006. But what we realized right from the beginning was that you need funding. You need to create awareness. So we had the charity, which was Blue Veil Charity. And so we went into the schools realizing that we had to create that awareness. So we went into the schools because we wanted to connect and create awareness in the sense of connecting with the young adults, the young students that were in resource classes, that were maybe in the special needs classes.
Right.
But we're so much about inclusivity and diversity that we wanted to really change things a little bit, so that if we did go into a school and do a live stage musical performance, that you know, because it opened the door for us to raise funds, because we charged obviously a fee because we had to survive, and it was a way of raising funds so that we could one day open the Sarah Elizabeth Center. Now, in our mind, we thought we'd open 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It took 5 years of touring the schools. And when we were touring the schools, when the Blue Veil Band would go on stage and play for the live musical stage performances in the schools, what was happening is that we'd connect then with the grade 8s, and that's when the retreats started to open up, that we could facilitate retreats. So again, we would borrow space. We would use St. Peter's Parish, or we would use church basements, or the school gyms, or whatever. We had to borrow space. Even when we ran our programs, we borrowed space in the community centers until we can get permanently a place of our own.
Right.
But finally, in the 5th year, after trying for grants and you get denied, and you try again and you get denied, and then the 3rd time, finally. Now, why would we get denied? Because a lot of times when you're going after government grants, they want to make sure that you're solid, that you are able to sustain yourself. Because even if they give you a little bit, they want you to continue from then on. They're not going to keep supporting you. So they gave us enough to, like, okay, go get a place, because the vision was there. They finally accepted it. I thought it was because of the music that we were getting declined. I said, you know what? I'm going to have to take this music out. What are we doing wrong? And so when I finally sat them down, I said, okay, tell me what, otherwise that's it. We close the door. You get to a point where you think, Lord, what are we supposed to continue? Is this what you want? Is this your plan? And I connected with her, and she said, so I said to her, I said, okay, tell me what it is. What is it? What do we take off this proposal? She goes, okay. She was witty. She was funny. She goes, let me tell you right now, do not take out the music. And I'm going, okay, now I'm totally confused. Well, she explained why. When we first registered the charity, we were actually called Blue Veil Ministry.
Okay.
We changed the name to Blue Veil Charity because it was creating confusion. We were ministering to youth. Sometimes the government looks at that as we're ministry just to Catholics, and that's not the case. We're ministering to everyone, but that through confusion, and they're very big on, you have to be ecumenical, you have to be fair. And of course we are, we stress that. But you know what? That one word can sometimes throw something off. So we changed it to Blue Veil Charity. No problem, and we were able to move forward, and then that's when the reality of, okay, we got a little bit of funding now, we can secure a location, Sarah Elizabeth Center was the location we secured. And then it's just, now it's been a journey going forward in really promoting Sarah Elizabeth Center. There was no need so much with Blue Veil because the band, then we started to retreat. Now they come to us. We don't have to go to the schools so much. Now the schools comes to us. And that's how our connection too, Angelo.
That's right.
That's the connection that we have through the retreats and everything as well. So,
right.
And it's been a few years now too, right?
It has been a few years. I wanted to, the other school was Holy Cross. I don't know if that rings a bell, that you had visited Holy Cross. I believe in Malton.
In Dufferin Peel.
Or was it a Dufferin
Peel?
Yes,
Holy Cross. Yes, Holy Cross. I remember that. That was an elementary school.
Yes, elementary. That's correct.
That's Nicholas?
That's Nicholas. He went to
Holy Cross.
Cross.
Back. He was like in grade 7, 8. Oh my God. Now he's becoming a teacher. See, this is the beauty of connecting with all these young people that were so young, and now they're becoming the teachers. And so if we plant the seed somehow, thank you, Lord. Oh, what a blessing.
Now, Severia, who I mentioned earlier, she's a teacher.
Oh,
and she had her Planning for Independence kids, her PIP kids, visit your center.
Oh my goodness.
So I believe Severia's was St. Michael's in Bolton.
Oh my God, yes.
So she mentioned that as well. So she mentioned that as well. Yeah, and then Nicholas also mentioned that you did his confirmation retreat as well.
That's right. Oh wow.
So there you go.
You might hear a few things that he's heard, so that's okay. He could be my, he could take the words and move, and then he's got a lot of his own beautiful inspiration that he continues to add on too.
So Cris, I want to really dive deep into this whole center now and kind of the vision and the name. I remember when you first told me, or you told our group, the story of Sarah Elizabeth Center, at least the name and all the connections. It really, like, we all had goosebumps. I remember it really sent chills through all of us. I'm wondering if you could share that now, if you could share with everyone kind of that vision a bit more, the connections that were made, maybe the name, why the name Sarah Elizabeth, and if you could share that with everyone.
All right. It's funny, I'm sure people have heard the story. I mean, even the families are this, like, they know the story, they lived it, right?
Right.
And then there are those like Nicholas that have probably heard the story. But a story is a story that each time you hear it, you probably hear something different. It's like, you read scripture and it's like, this time it's, I heard this part, or I needed to hear this part. So I prayed to the Holy Spirit truly that, and I did pray before I started. Okay, I really did.
Bravo.
So I did it all, and I said, Lord, let whoever it is that needs to hear whatever it is they need to hear or be touched, let that be, let it touch their hearts, right? It's like the title of my book, Listening with the Ears of, the Heart of Listening, which is to listen with the ears of your heart, right? So let's now talk to the heart. Angela, like I said, you guys have probably heard this already, but in the retreats, when I talk to young people or talk to anybody, the point I'm trying to make through my story is that it fits with my faith because of at least I'm trying to share with others that there is a faith component here, not because I'm trying to convert or I'm trying to, it's not that. It's a personal story where they can experience what I went through and see that there has to be an element of faith in this. There had to be for me. But even if you take the faith out and you say, okay, let's not get into the spiritual. I don't, even if you don't believe or whatever, there's something there. You can't not see that. And what I try to teach everyone is that we have to connect. There's a connection we have to make, that we're not alone. There has to be a connection. So I always talk about connect and listening. So how do we listen? We listen through signs and symbols and dreams and visions and any way that God wants to communicate to us. Like maybe tonight, this opportunity is a way of connecting with someone because we're connecting. But then we have to listen. But how is that person listening? Is it because of our humor? Is it because of our personality? Is it just because of the story? There's got to be something that they're listening to that's going to touch their heart. So in that listening and whatever, in that spirit, I then share the story, obviously, right? So, okay. So basically, they're at the center at this point. They've come to experience a little bit about who we are. And here we are, we're at a center with young adults with special needs. They've had the opportunity to mingle, to interact with them and be a part of it and realize that each and every one of them is so unique. And I try to impress upon them that God had a purpose for each and every one of us. Because I say right from the beginning, Jesus says that God says that I knew you before I placed you in your mother's womb. So he formed us. He already knew us. Then I say, and he called you by name, right? I say that for retreat. Then I say, okay. And then what is it all about? It's about a future that he gives each and every one of us that has to be filled with hope and happiness, prosperity. So knowing all these things in this journey, and I would have known this in my journey because I started as a teenager. And I know I didn't talk about my faith journey, but by the time I went to have our 8th child, okay, because I had the 6 boys, and that was all a faith journey in itself, obviously, because how can you not see the mirror? Even if you don't believe, you have your first baby, okay? And I know that anybody who's had a first child in their hand, you say, wow, that's a miracle of God. You know, when all the fingers are in place and this child is healthy or whatever. The point is this child is born and you see this miracle. So there is this beautiful part that connects you with, with this divine spiritual side. So obviously my faith was growing and it had its own journey too, because of my husband becoming Catholic, RCIA. There's a whole thing. That's why I had to write the book, right? Because an hour won't do it, right? Okay. So in this journey that I was at, then we got our girl, Marianne, beautiful, and then we were having a second daughter. Like, it was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I'm pregnant again. I didn't believe it at the first ultrasound. They said it's a girl. I was like, let's not get too excited. Then the second, they do the ultrasound. It's like, it's a girl. I go, my goodness, we're having a girl. So there was excitement in the family. We're having a second girl. My faith is strong. Everything is there, right? We're supposed to be happy and joyful. And okay. So we go, and every child is the hope of the world. Every child. So we go to the hospital. We're ready to have our baby, and she's born. And every child's supposed to be the hope of the world. But the moment that she was born, right away, I could look at the faces of everybody around me, and I could see that something is happening. And when I finally got to get a look at the baby's face, I realized that she had a deformity. So she had a double cleft lip palate, which means that both sides of her lips weren't formed and the palate was missing. I wouldn't have known that exactly at that moment, but she had a double left cleft palate. Anyway, so at this moment, I'm looking, and I'm and I'm kind of going like, what's going on? They're going, it's okay, because they're trying to keep everything controlled, and they go, it's okay, everything's okay. Don't worry, these things can be surgically repaired. All right, you keep it together. Remember, we went to the hospital to have our baby, then go home and enjoy this beautiful, precious gift, the hope of the world. That's the way it's supposed to be. But things are changing very quickly. And when you're connected to God, you're up here. I always say to everybody, you're up here, you're connected with God, and you're supposed to be happy and hopeful. And if things happen where you're sad or you can go from sad, despair, despondent, to depression, anxiety, and suicide. Like, you can go from here to here very quickly. And yet, if we were listening, you through the signs and symbols, you hope that you can, only 2 minutes of sadness, and then realize that he's trying to bring you back to that part of where you can connect and whatever. But sometimes it can happen so quickly. You can go from here to a panic attack. And I'm sure that those who have had panic attacks will know what I'm talking about. The anxiety hits, like you're happy 1 minute, and then it just fear engulfs you, or whatever it takes over. You can go from up here to very low. Well, I'm still up here, okay? I'm happy, I'm hopeful, but things are happening quickly, right? So it's like, okay, and they said, it's okay, these things can be surgically repaired. All right, so now, at this point, things are happening very quickly. They wrapped her up and they were ready to take her away. Well, that's one of the things that's, as a mother and a child, the bonding, they usually put it in the mother's arms and you bond with the child. And I didn't even get to see her, right? So they took her and they brought her to me. I'm getting emotional. I don't know why. You know that I don't get emotional. I share the story. It just depends. You've got me in this moment of, you know what? We go in those moments, don't we? Like, it's like we go back and we relive, but it's all good. But it's all part of the journey, I guess, again too. So anyway, so they brought her to me. They put her in my arms, and then I unraveled the blanket, and I realized that, oh, there's more than just the cleft lip palate. Her ear looked like a little rosebud that hadn't opened up. It looked like a little rosebud. And so I said, oh, so mother's go in survival mode. And I went, oh, okay, here, take her, because the breathing, they were a little bit worried. So they quickly took her, and they were ready to take her away because they had to bring her to ICU. They had to assess her, right? So I looked at my husband and said, you go with her, right? So off they went. They took the baby, off they went. And things are, now they're taking care of me. Everything went quick enough, and at this point the lights were dimmed, and I'm in a room alone, and the doctor's gone. The nurse left me for a minute, and I'm all alone. And then it hit. It's like Dawn is with the baby, I'm alone, and I'm here. I'm supposed to be like, okay. And all of a sudden I went from here to like, oh my God, I can't do this. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, you know, it hits you like 1,000 questions that you don't verbalize, but it's there. And I'm about to lose it. But see, these are where I say that God's grace, you know, like this is where God's, the connection. If we're there, it doesn't matter if we have our faith. It doesn't matter at this point in our lives, let's say in our journey, that we haven't made that connection or we haven't gotten so devout. God does not abandon us, and he knows how to connect with us. And at that moment, the symbol, the sign, the opportunity that God used was a human angel. Like I always say, he could send angels if he wants. And we many times are the human angels. So the nurse walks in right at that moment that I'm about to lose it. She looks at me and she says, "Are you okay, honey?" And I went, instead of answering her, all of a sudden, I got an inspiration. You see, God can do that too. You know, when you're in that moment, you go, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And it's like that light bulb goes out and it's like, you've got to ask that. It's like, oh, and then, you know, at that moment, I had to ask a question. I had to ask her a question. But for you to understand it, I know you've heard the story, Angelo, but bear with me. But
I love hearing it. Keep telling
okay,
it.
okay, all right. So anyway, so, you know, and at that moment, I had to ask a question. But for you and the audience to understand my question, I have to take you back to the time when I met my husband, okay, way back. Now we go back to the Italian culture tradition where I was raised in an Italian home. I'm the eldest. I'm the one that, you know, like we did the wines and I, you know, to the grand, oh yeah, we did the whole thing, you know, like it was traditional Italian, right? So yours, you know, the understanding is you marry an Italian, not a non-Italian, right?
Not a munchkin.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here I am. I met Don at school at Ryerson. He's not Italian, and I'm trying to help him understand. Now we had been together like at school, and we had fallen in love, and I don't know, there was just something we knew we were soulmates, and we had to be together. And so you know, the I love yous had happened and all that, and I said okay. And he wanted to, you know, I said you have to kind of come and meet my dad, and the only way you can do that is if you ask for my hand in marriage. No pressure, you know, no pressure. It's like, okay. So here he comes and he figures, all right, right? And he comes with his mom to ask my dad. And my dad, oh my God, he's fuming because I should know better. I shouldn't have even allowed this, right? It's like, okay. So my dad and my husband comes, asks, and my husband says, thank you. But no, thank you. Get out. Okay. I know I'm painting a really bad picture, but it's like, I should have known better. Like, this didn't happen. Like, okay. So poor Don, he had to leave, and we finished our school, and you know, we continued to obviously see each other at school and that, but it was like, okay, when we finish and we graduate, we're gonna have to try this again, and hopefully by that time we would have, you know, prayed enough. Not that we really knew prayer, because our faith wasn't at that level there. It wasn't, this was God's plan. He had a plan, we had to be together, obviously, and then we got to know God. But at this time, obviously, he knew us, thank God. So either way, so it happened. So we eventually got married. Okay, so you know that part. So now, the only way that I could communicate with my husband during that time was in code. So we had a secret code of love. So we took, I took the words I-L-O-V-E-E, I love you, okay? L-O-V-E-I-O-U. I took the numerical equation. It came out to 122. And so when he would phone, I'd say, oh, the page is 122 or whatever. 122 became our secret code of love. Beautiful. Not that it was really a secret code anymore, because then everybody knew it, and then birthday cakes and, you know, cards. Because, okay. So anyway, okay, so now you know that. Now, let me take you, everybody, back to the room, okay, where I'm now in the room. I'm about to lose it. The nurse walks in. She asks me, are you okay, honey? And the inspiration that I got was not asking, where's my husband? How's the baby? What's going on? No, I had to ask, what time was the baby born? And she goes, okay. She goes, let me see, honey. So she looks at my bracelet, you know, and because they would put one on the mom and one on the baby. And she says, the baby was born at 122. And that to me was the way that God hugged my heart, because my question was, oh my God, where are you? I can't do this way. And it's like 122. You may not have been connected with me. You may not have prayed to me. You may not have known how much I loved you, but your secret code of love was my secret code of love, that I was so much a part. So he said it all without saying it all. Okay. Like the 122 hugged my heart. The same moment that I got that as God's connection to me and listening with my heart, he spoke to my heart. My husband walks in. I took one look at his face, and I knew that he was wondering, what do I tell Cris? You know, like now he doesn't have much to say, but it's not good. And I looked at him before he could speak. I said, Dawn, the baby was born at 122. And he says, that's all I needed to know. And that gave us the hope, because, you know, when I tell these young kids that you were created in the image of God, you are the image of God, you were formed in the mother's womb. He called you by name. He gave you a future full of hope and happiness. Hope. You know, they could come in now as doctors and start stripping us of our hope. She's a dying child. She has a condition called trisomy 13. She's not going to make it. She should have died in the womb. She shouldn't have survived the birth. All these things, you know, were just coming at us now. It's like the reality of what was going on. You know, and it wasn't that this could be surgically repaired. This is beyond repair. This is the heart that is so deformed. She shouldn't have survived the birth. So now she became a dying child. And so it's like, okay, so we're supposed to wait for death. And it's like, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. I have to go home. I have to, you know, I learned what I had to do to understand how to take care of her needs. And I took her home. And each day that we had with her, she stayed with us for 26 days, which sounds like a short time. But when it's a child that should have died in your womb, according to the world, and, you know, it's like 26 days. This was an opportunity for God to reveal his amazing grace to us, to see the gift of love, to allow the community to come together. This was like, it's just so powerful. It can go on and on and on, like the story itself, right? But that's the 122. So, you know, our eighth child was Sarah Elizabeth. Did we know that we were going to lose this child? No. Did we know when we were grieving, and we grieved, you know, that you know, somehow we would get out of this? Of course. Like, we didn't lose our hope, and we knew she was dying. And 10 months later, I got pregnant again. And I had Stephanie, you know, and yet the world may have looked at us as like, you know.
You still at it? What's going on?
You know, like, really, you know? But you know what? Stephanie came into the world. She's the joy. She, you know, like, you know, she's the joy, right? She is. And that's what she did. She brought that joy back into the family, and we carried on. But the thing is, was Elizabeth's birth not for a purpose? God had a purpose. It didn't go perhaps the way it was planned, but God still had a purpose. And here we discovered in time with healing that there was a call, and then that in tribute to her, we were able to move forward, work with young adults that has, because she would have been multiply handicapped, but it goes even beyond that. And the story could go on and on and on, because it goes beyond Sarah's birth. Even before that, my children were working with kids that were special needs. And so I think the call was there. And anyway, so today, in honor and in tribute to Sarah Elizabeth, our eighth child, we have Sarah Elizabeth Center. So it was always in the plan, right?
Beautiful. And again, Cris, it's so obvious the faith you all hold as a family, right? To go through something like this, which, let's be honest, you know, could have broken down a family, broken down a marriage, you know, when you go through something this traumatic, but yet it only strengthened your hope. It only strengthened your faith and your love. I want to just let you know that there are all kinds of hearts coming your way, all kinds of love coming your way. People are remarking about how they got chills.
My God. See, I'm not reading them.
Yes, no, I'm following. Yeah, what strength you have, love and hope. You're such an amazing woman, inspirational story. Your energy is amazing. You have an amazing family. Oh my goodness. Hey, the Smith family should have a big party tonight. Hey, you should be like celebrating tonight. But no, listen, it's a beautiful story, and I thought it was important to share that, because now I want you to, if you don't mind, and believe it or not, there's only 20 minutes left. So
are you serious? I thought, how am I going to talk for an hour?
So what I'm going to say is this. Once we get to the hour, because it will end, will you come back? Like, if we stop it and come right back, can you speak a little longer tonight?
What, like actually, okay, my kids are going to have to help me to figure that out. But
yes,
okay, I can do it.
Don't worry. We'll have you come right back on, because it's going to end us in an hour. In about 20 minutes, we're done. But I need to keep talking to you. There's still a lot to say. Okay.
Oh, my God. Okay,
let's see what we can accomplish in 20 minutes.
All right.
Okay. Now that you've told us the name of Sarah Elizabeth, tell us about those beautiful young people that you serve and minister to. Because, you know, for Cardinal Ambrozic, who's been there, many other schools, we've met them, interacted with them, ate with them. Tell us a little bit about the programs and those beautiful young people that you have there every day.
Thank you. Yes. You know, when I like, just going back a little bit to when I said that we were Blue Veil, we had the vision right from the beginning that we knew we wanted to open Sarah Elizabeth Center, but for some reason, God had a plan to take us in a certain way. So we went into the schools, the guys were doing the music. We were able to work in the resource class to teach them a song so that when they'd go on, when we came back the next day to go on stage, we were able to bring them on stage. We did that at St. Joan of Arc. I remember doing that, and they came on and they presented the song with us. We did this a few times with a few schools, with high schools and whatnot. But what we realized is we connected with some of these kids that then started to come to our seasonal camps. And these were young adults, like, who were still in high school, because the program now obviously has participants that are 21 and older. But at the time we had started, we didn't have the program running. We had kids that were 16, 17, 18. They were still in high school. We were still connecting with them. We were doing our part-time, like our Saturday, our seasonal camps. But what was beautiful was that when on the 5th year, we were able to open our place, our actual permanent location, the kids or the young adults had turned 21. They already knew us. They needed a place to call home. They were able to come. So already a connection had been made. They were able to come to what we call the SEC, short for Sarah Elizabeth Center, family. It was like a family, because our vision was always a home away from home, a place that they can contribute, be included, be a part of a community, not be babysat. Oh, now they're out of school. Oh, they can't work, they can't volunteer. Some can, some can't. Everybody comes with a different gift. And that's the other thing too, is when they come to our programs, they don't come because they have a disability. I know that we have to have these legalistic things for grants and this and that. We are a program that offers, for developmentally challenged and physically challenged. It has that in it. But the reality is, these are young adults that are coming with gifts and abilities that may be different, but they are so gifted in the gift that they have that they can bring into the world, but they haven't found how they can share it in the world necessarily. So they may have to come to a place like us first to transition. So transition from school, coming to a program where they can come, develop a gift, a skill that they have but hasn't been quite developed yet. And usually it's the arts. So we realized that that's why they said don't take out the music, because music is so much a part of us. But the arts of visual arts, music, dance, drama, all the arts, any form of expression through the arts. Even if you're nonverbal, you can look. Now with masks, can you read my lips? No, but you can read maybe my, especially if you're Italian. You can read. You can the eyes, right? Did your mother ever look at you with those eyes and say, "Don't take another cookie"?
Many times.
Why did they put it in front of us? Like we go visit our guests and we couldn't touch the things that were right in front of us. Like all she had to do was just give us a look. But you know what I mean. Anyway, so the thing is, there's nonverbal, right? And so how do we help discover a way to communicate? How do we listen with our hearts? And that's when young adults come to our retreats. They get to spend a day there. They come thinking, oh, we're going to come and give. And I think, Angelo, you said it yourself. They leave receiving, because our young adults will not judge. They will love unconditionally. And so anybody that comes there that may feel themselves caught in a gap, may feel that, oh, okay, I graduated, but I'm still suffering anxiety and I don't know where to go and I don't know what program to take and I don't even know what field I want to be into. They come and spend some time, whether they volunteer or they're participating, because it's a program that vocationally they can benefit as well. And they share. They're very high functioning, or maybe they're more in need physically. That's okay. We will serve every need, but we will recognize the gift. And that gift that they have, we hone in, we will develop, we'll discover, we'll develop, we'll nurture. And then we will make them contribute to the community. It's not like, oh, look what they've done. No. Look what they are providing or contributing in a dignified way to the world. You've got Michael with poems, you've got Michelle with art, you've got new ones that are coming in that are discovering their voice and they're going to learn how to sing. And you've got Jose that can dance, and you've got Frankie Crudo who can, he can play drums. And I've met a lot of them. You know who I'm talking about, right? You've got the ones that got the smiles. You walk in, you've got problems at home, you walk in, they give you a smile, and it's like, that's it. You can't bring them in there. So it's a place that I swear it's heavenly. It really is. You want joy? You come to Sarah Elizabeth Center. I don't know if I'm giving you all the points, but you see what I'm trying to say. It's a place where they're young adults that maybe are caught in the gap, but let me tell you, they will allow anybody who comes to find their you know what they do? They help you find your divine self. Like, if you don't have a faith, you're going to find a faith, because how can you not believe? Just like you see a child that's born and you see that's a miracle, you see beyond the disability. You don't see that. You don't see the cleft lip. I did not see the cleft lip. I saw Sarah, and, you know, she was a dying child. I didn't see a dying child. I saw a child that God was giving me one day, one more day, one more day. And, you know, so it all has its place, so that then it becomes a connection that I don't lose. She's gone, but his amazing grace has still allowed me to stay connected with her. And that's a situation where she's gone. But those that are still here with us, oh my God, if we can connect with the world, the community. Okay, so all right.
No, that's beautiful.
Go
no, listen, that's why you're our special guest. No, this is all beautiful. This is all beautiful. Hey, a few more comments here, because so many are coming in. Let's see here. So I don't know. Do you know Katarina, who said, Sarah Elizabeth is a child I never met, but I have come to love over the years as if I did. That's from Katarina. Julia here, Julia_pass. Always.
Oh my God, Julia, she was one of our volunteers.
Yes.
Julia, hello.
She said, always a welcoming atmosphere. The young adults have my heart. So that's a nice one as well. So tell me a bit about how Sarah Elizabeth Center, the program, has maybe changed you at all over the years. Is there anything you've learned more about, you know, about Cris over the years in working with these kids or with these young adults at Sarah Elizabeth Center?
You know, I think what it's taught me is that I don't have to know everything. They'll teach me. Like, you just have to really be who you are. Like, if I'm a mom, you know, I could have degrees and whatever, and you can come in with artistic gifts, and I can be a perfect dancer. I could be, but you know what? If you can't take that gift and connect with that individual on a real one-on-one level, and realize that the person that's standing in front of you is unique and extraordinary, and yes, special, but not special needs in a negative way, but like you just said, but special because you are a special child of God. You know, they've taught me the meaning of truly not judging and really loving. It's just amazing. And the other thing they've done is that I didn't have to grow in my faith because I had to learn more scripture and do more prayers and do more meditation, even though those are such important parts of growth on a spiritual level. What they did is they developed my faith, because how can you not believe, again, in the miracle of seeing that maybe it took a year for that person to simply, well, I'll give you an example. We got a smart board. Oh my God.
Oh, you did?
We did. We got a beautiful, you know, like financially, I had to do it.
Yes.
That when I get something in my head, it's like, we got to do it, Lord.
That's awesome.
It's like,
That's
you have to help me here. So we did it. Okay. So now God provides this. Okay. So we got this, I'm talking state of the art. Like, it's like, looks like a big, huge iPad to me, right? And it's like up to date. The participants, they love it, and they need technology up to date. None of this handout where, you know, it's got to be up to date. Well, we've got this young, beautiful lady that, you know, a lot of times she's not verbal, and she'll smile and she'll share in her way. Out of the blue, she gets up and she's participating on the board.
No way.
What? We've had her for 3 years, where, you know, it was always a challenge, but it's okay. In God's time, in her time, in God's time. And she teaches me patience. She's not the only one. All of them teach me patience, because you see my personality, right?
Yes.
Like, I got to learn to slow down. My kids say, Ma, listen. It's like, I know I wrote the book. I just don't do it.
I thought I was loud. I kept telling everyone, you guys have no idea. You have no idea what's coming. Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, my kids are going, Ma, that's too much energy. We can't handle it. And I haven't even run out of coffee yet.
Oh, my goodness.
My friend Rosina said, have an espresso before you go on. I go, Rosie, are you serious?
No.
Coffee? No.
Hey,
anyway.
You know who Katarina is? It's Kathy Turco.
Kathy Turco,
yeah,
I figured that. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Kathy, I've never met you, but I know of you. I know that, you know, somehow we probably crossed paths, but I've met your daughter many times.
Michelle,
Michelle.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you for being here as well. Someone else, Izzy had mentioned Di Felice. SEC makes everyone feel included, special, and loved. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. Izzy's so sweet. Yes.
And Severia, again, has saying, these young adults teach us that we need very little. It is in the smallest ways that they bring the greatest joys. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
I always say that, you know, if you're going to, like, we all have a story. And the story doesn't have to be these incredible things that, no, it's the stuff of life, you know, and everybody can share it. And especially if you have someone that's really listening, then the story really, you know, can have the fruits of what you need to receive also for that person. Okay. That connection. But, it's the little details, you know, sometimes you think, and our participants are wonderful in giving you the little details, and you have to be patient to listen and not miss those little details, right? Rather than go. That's what I love about when you enter SEC, it's the world that we should all be in, you know? And even with COVID, I have to tell you, they're being so good about it, you know, like they're so peaceful because we're together again. And it's just what we do miss is the students. We do miss the connection with the schools, with the artists that could, you know, we're being very prudent. We're taking it very slow, and you know, but we got our smart board. So you know what? That's awesome. We continue to do things in a way that will still allow us to virtually connect. So.
Rosina said that it's the Calabrese fire in you.
It's true. That's right.
Cris, listen, do you have your kids nearby though?
Yes, I do. They're in the other room.
So this is what we're going to do.
Oh my God, so now we're up?
Yes, it's like we're going to be cut off in like a few minutes. So I'm going to end the session, okay? But I'm going to be right back on in a minute. When I'm back on, I need you to request me again.
Okay.
I'm going to bring you back on. All of our followers will come back on.
Oh, my God.
I still want to ask you a few questions. There's still a few questions here. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Okay. I'm going to end the call.
Okay.
To all of our followers, please wait 60 seconds. Come back. I'm going to get everyone back, and we're going to continue, okay?
Okay. I'm going to trust you. Okay, all right.
Okay, so I'm going to end it now, and I'll see you in a... And we are back, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back. We are going to continue our Spilling Tea segment with Cris Smith. Hey, it's just too much to talk about, and I've still got a whole list of stuff here. So I'm going to ask Cris to request to come back on with me. Thank you, everyone else, for starting to come back. Cardinal Ambrozic, Beatrice, Danielle, Cris, you're already there. Great, Sarah. Okay, let me bring Cris back in. Andrew, hello. Thank you, everyone, for coming back.
There you go.
Hey, you made it. All right. Okay.
I did it. We did it. Marianne helped me.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do is people are slowly coming back because I know they'll come back. All right. I just wanted to, I would not want to just end it. Like, there's so much I want to say. Like, I don't want to go too long, but there's still a few questions that I want to ask. Is that okay with you if we spend a little bit more?
I'm fine. I can't believe that an hour's gone by.
It's crazy. It's unbelievable how fast it goes. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, definitely Sarah Elizabeth Center has made an impact, not only on you, but also those who work with you, all of those students that have gone, you know, through the center, teachers, educators, you know, myself. It really has touched us in many, many ways. I'm wondering for you, Cris, who has maybe been an important person in your life as you look over your journey? Have you had any mentors along the way, or anyone in particular that may still be present in your life that's kind of guiding you or helping you? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about that today in case, you know, it's one of the questions that you may ask, and that. Yes. And I began to realize, and the thing is, because I did write this book, I had the opportunity, because at my age now, it's not like I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 60s, obviously, right? So I've had certain experience that come along the way, right? In terms of being where I am with 5 grandkids and you know, being a nonna, just loving that part of life too, right? So like in all these, I realized, okay, there are people that are going to come in our path, and there's certain people we need at certain times, and they may just be passing through, and then there are those that are there longer. But I thought, instead of mentors, I found that in my life it was more, believe it or not, I call them God's servants, okay, because they came to serve, right, in whatever way God asked them to serve, for that need to answer my prayer. So they were there for me for whatever it was. So they were served. So they were God's servants, right? And I realized that you know, sometimes they started on earth, but then they died. Like there were certain people that came, and then shortly after they were gone for whatever, you know, whether it was illness or whatever the case is. So then these servants were on earth, but now they're in heaven. So now that's why it's like, I truly believe they're still mentoring, because, you know, I'm praying to them. So that connection, again, see, it always goes with this connection. If God's allowed me a connection with these people on earth, and then it ends because of, you know, they're in heaven, or maybe the connection is I still continue to pray. We don't know, you know, purgatory, whatever it is, but there is a connection there, and we continue to pray. But I found that, okay, so in my journey, who was it? It was obviously my husband right off the bat. You know, if we didn't connect the way we did, and it, you know, it has its own story, but we did. We conquered. You know, it's funny now, but the poor guy, like, you know, it wasn't easy. Let me tell you, you know, like it was hard. It was hard. And my father spoke Italian. And he yelled when he spoke. When he talked, because he's Italian, he said, "Is your father mad?" I go, "No, that's the way he talks. That's the way we all talk." You know, like, okay, so we had to get used to that, right? But my husband was there to be with me and walk with me. Then obviously my kids. Oh my God, your kids are always your teachers, right? Ma, you know, it's like they teach you, right? Especially your oldest, Jeff. Sorry, honey. You know, I had to make a lot. I'm still learning with Jeff because he's still the oldest, right? So the eldest, the second, then the third one, poor Donnie, got forgotten a lot. But you learn from that, you know. Don't forget your kids, because then, you know. But he became a leader. It doesn't matter, right? But anyway, so the children, obviously the children were the ones that were, you know, also helping me grow and learn. Then there was spiritual friends. And these were the friends that somehow became your soul sisters, or or just spiritual friends, because soul brothers, I'm not a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're spiritual friends, right? But what I found was special about them is that they would come in your life, but then sometimes you don't connect for a while. But then when you reconnect, you pick up where you left off. So it's not like you have to worry that, oh, you didn't call me, you didn't this. It's like, no, it's like we're spiritual friends. So the spirit, there's no past, present, or future. You pick up, because it's a journey, and they come back to teach you again another point, another part, another help, another. Okay, so then there's the prayer warriors. That's a group of its own. And it's like, guys, we have to pray because we need this and this. Done. We don't have to explain. It's just pray. And then they'll pray whatever way they want, you know. So they're prayer warriors. I mean, and we're talking warriors. We're talking St. Michael works, you know, the works, okay? We're talking warriors. Rosaries in hand, the weapons are there, okay? All right, so, and then there's the co-workers. How can you do a job, which is not a job, which is a vocation, which is a ministry, which is, you see what I'm saying? It's how can you do that if you don't have co-workers that have the same spirit? And the beautiful thing about the spirit, if we're going to work in the spirit, yes, it's the Holy Spirit. But when we're called to serve, God directs us in the way that he's calling us to serve. So for some, it might be the Franciscan way, the Dominican way. For Dawn and myself, in our journey, in our faith journey, so I know we didn't touch on that, but it's not really important. We are where we are now, and you can see that, you know, like, I'm sure people pick up that, how can my faith not be there with everything we've gone through? But there was a journey, even a faith journey of its own. But in that faith journey, and we can thank so many people that help us discern. But when we finally got to the part where we knew how we wanted to serve God, also in what spirit? It was the Salesian spirit. So we became Salesian cooperators. So the Salesians, from this, you know, through St. Benedict's Parish, you know, we became very connected. I mean, that was our parish to begin with, but that doesn't mean that we automatically would become Salesian cooperators. But it was because we were also Marriage Encounter, Focolare. There was a number of different groups that we participated on that had to be a part of our lives in order to go where we had to go, because we realized it had to be, our work was with youth. I was having enough kids, you know. And you know what? Half the times I was running the youth group in my home, whether they realized it or not, because half of them were in my home anyway, right? So anyway, yesterday, apparently, Kathy said Pat Marcola did a shout out to watch this, and he was in our home, like, he knows us, and he's now what, chaplain at Robert.
He's now at Robert F. Hall.
Meanwhile, he's a teenager with Jeff, and you know, coming in our home, and it's like, I love it. This is what I mean. There's just so many.
He told me that. Yeah, he told me as a kid.
Oh my God, there's just so many of them. Like, so anyway, but that's because I'm having so many kids. My poor daughters, they can't go anywhere with saying, "Wait, your brother is this," and it's like, oh God, you can't get away. Or your mother is like, that's even worse. But anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so the co-workers, and then the Salesians, obviously, right? But they became mentors because they started to help us in the spirit of Don Bosco. It's a vocation in itself that we felt drawn, and so there's guidance there. But believe it or not, there's also the strangers. I know this is going to sound really crazy, but strangers that will have brief encounters. You think a stranger, you know, I'll give you an example. One time I was walking into a McDonald's, okay? And I'm just going through the door this way while somebody's coming out this way, okay? So like, you know, two opposite way. So in the day, pre-COVID days when you could do this, right?
Right.
So, without a mask, okay? So I'm going in, and this man is coming this way. I don't know what it was. He was a tall man. I don't know what it was about him, but we passed each other. Our eyes just locked, and that was it. But there was something about that connection that just lifted my spirit, and that was it. That was the end of it. But it stayed with me. And in reflecting, I thought, it brought me back to that moment of experiencing, not forgetting God's presence, not forgetting, like, don't do things in such an ambiguous way that you don't recognize who's around. Be aware of who's around. Be aware of the little things, you know? And it just grounded me. It brought me back to, like, that presence of God in everyone, right? I know, and it's the strangest thing, right? And that's just a stranger in a brief encounter. And that was a person that was alive. Here's another one. Do we have time? Can I tell you another story?
Of course, yes,
okay.
Chris. Yeah.
Here we are one time, my girls, and we're in the car with Dawn, and I think the girls were with me, and we're driving down near Don Bosco School. We're coming home.
Right.
And there was an accident. There was something. We thought it was an accident. We thought, what's going on here? But what it was it was a car. Somebody had a heart attack, and they actually died. And so that person, I realized that's what it was. And the girls were young. They go, oh, what happened? I said, let's just pray. Let's just pray for that soul. So, you know, we just said a prayer, right? Whatever, that he'd be okay. But we realized, okay, that poor soul, you know, let's just pray, something, whatever. We come home. And that's it. So that's someone that's gone. Like, it was in transit. Like, it just, it happened. Like, whatever. We don't know him. I didn't see his face, but I knew that the connection somehow, my family, kids, prayers of a child that are faithful and they're just, God hears the prayers of a child, right? They're so innocent. Okay, so what would that have done? Well, I know it did something for us, because what happened was, as we're coming home, my husband had a business where one of the kids that was working for him was driving the van, a big van. He went to park it right in front of our house while he was going to run inside to get something. All right, it's in front of us. Now, this is like way ahead of me, right? I'm coming in with the car. And the van, my husband wasn't with me. It was just me and the girls. I'm driving in on our street, and you could see my house because I could see the van parked in front of my house. But for some reason, all I see is the back doors of the van are open, and the van is coming backwards. It's like as if the person's reversing. Right. And I'm thinking, why is, you know, John at the time, right? Why is John reversing the car? Like, why is he swerving? Like, what's going on? And we're driving. We're the only car. Okay, it's a busy hour. Right. And, you know, it's like, whatever, 4 o'clock. I mean, this is the time kids are coming from school. But it's like there was no one on the streets. It was just us. And this van is just going backwards. What had happened was, and then finally, as it goes back, it hits the curb finally at one of the blocks and just stops. The curve actually stopped it. Right. When I run out of my car to go look at the van, there was no driver. What had happened was, for whatever reason, whether the car wasn't put in park or properly, the car must have been in neutral. The van, we're talking a big white van. It was in neutral, and it was just veering backwards. It did not hit any parked cars. It did not hit any children. It could have been devastating, okay? And all I thought to myself at that point is, there was a soul behind the wheel. We prayed for a soul behind the wheel. I know it sounds crazy, okay? I make stories of things but this is what I mean. It's the little things. It's not always the big. We prayed for a soul behind the wheel, and that soul behind the wheel went behind the wheel and literally saved other souls, because it could have been devastating. So it's like, am I not going to give thanks to God and thank that soul even more? And I kept praying for that soul wherever it was, purgatory, and I don't even know who it is. Yes. So even a person that I never even met could be a benefit. So do not think that it has to be somebody assigned, and I don't have a director, and I don't have a no. God will send anyone, angels, human angels, dreams, visions, the signs, the symbols, they'll be there. He connects with us, and he will give us humans or non-humans, whatever. Right. Yeah. Even pets. Okay, we can go on and on. But
absolutely. Okay.
So those are my messengers of love, direction, compassion, encouragement, right? They serve the purpose, obviously, right?
I just wanted to note here, and you remember Andrew Selvin, he used to work at Cardinal Ambrozic.
Yes,
You must
yes.
remember.
Hi, Andrew.
So Andrew's on here, and he had just mentioned that his life has been so blessed to have encountered you in this ministry, and so he wanted to mention that as well. And most of our listeners have come back. Everyone's pretty much come back. Cardinal Ambrozic. So this would be my vice principal, Diana Speranza. I don't know if you've ever met
my God,
Diana.
I listened to her thing. Wait,
yes, she was on a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I listened to it. She made me cry.
Yes. So she wrote down a brilliant message: with open eyes and heart, we encounter God. You know, which is beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Andrew misses you, by the way. Chris, I miss you. This from Andrew. So
Andrew had us come into your school. And Donnie and Elizabeth and Sarah and we all came.
Yes.
Yeah. And Michael had come and he played. We didn't bring a drum, so he played. Oh my God, it was fun. It was good. Yeah.
Cool.
So we got to do that. We got to do things like that more.
Yes. When we're able to.
I know.
I have two more questions for you, if that's okay.
All right.
And you kind of the first one is you kind of mentioned it. I want you to know that. I'm not a Salesian cooperator, but I'm a Salesian retreat facilitator for our school board. So when we take our kids on retreats, I lead the retreat. And many of our followers tonight, students or educators, are all Salesians as well. They've all been on the retreat. So I wanted to ask you a bit about, so how would you describe your faith life? And I know you kind of mentioned Salesian, and that's a big part of it. But just for all of our viewers right now, when you think of your own faith life, how would you describe it to a stranger, for example, or to someone who asks?
My faith life.
Yeah.
I truly believe my faith life shouldn't be something where I preach it, but I think people have to know that I have a faith simply because of who I am. Right. I have to know who I am. And if I know who I am and I'm content in where I am and who I am and the things that are happening in my life, people are going to ask, but how does she do it? You know, like, and when they ask those questions, like sometimes you've got young mothers that have three kids, but then they realize I have more kids. It's like, and it's like, oh, but you know, but it doesn't matter. You could have three. It's like having 9. It doesn't matter. You could have 1. You know, that it's not the numbers. It's the challenge of a parent, right? It doesn't matter. You can have 1, and that's not the question there. And so it's how do you do it? So how do you do it? First of all, I think it has to do with just knowing that you have to have certain things in your life that you have to hold on to. And I think okay, so like what should be a priority? I think it goes back to, maybe you'll understand this because you said there's many Salesians that are listening.
Yes.
You know, okay, we went further in actually becoming Salesian cooperators, but anybody involved with Salesians understands that it's the spiritual of Don Bosco. It's working with the youth. And there's certain messages that we learned, certain strenas that Don Bosco left, certain teachings, right, that we tend to incorporate. And I think that really helped us in our journey as well, working with young people. And one of the things that I think was such a confirmation for me was when we were discerning the spirituality of the Salesians, I had actually had a dream, which had nothing to do with the Salesians at the time. I had just had a dream because one of my hobbies, my passions and whatever is I'm an avid journal writer, and I have all kinds of journals, dream journals, God journals, journals after I'm gone. I write a journal as if I'm gone. I know that's crazy. I write a journal as if I'm gone to all my kids. All right. This is it, guys. In here is me talking to you years from now. When you read it, even the unborn kids that are born, it's like, oh my God, I'm your grandma. Hey, I'm watching you. Don't you kid yourself. I know what you're up to, you know? So it's a journal for after I'm gone. It's crazy, I know. But anyway, but in that journal, so my dream journal, I had recorded a dream, I remember, where in this dream, I know it sounds crazy, but the Lord had granted me 3 wishes. In this dream, I see this water coming out of, I won't go to all the details because it's tiny, but I see this water gushing from this wall. And then it was as if it was Jesus saying to me, I'm granting you 3 wishes. And I'm going, oh, okay. So right away I said, I want health and happiness. And I didn't know what the 3rd one was. And I woke up and I'm going, what's my 3rd one? I don't know, right? And I left it for years. I didn't know. I knew I wanted health and happiness, but I didn't know what the 3rd one was. When we were forming in the formation for the Salesians, one of the things that Don Bosco taught his children, his kids, he made them part of the 3H club. He called it the 3H club. And he wanted them to always pray 3 Hail Marys for, get this, I read this and I'm going, oh my God, that was my 3rd wish. He said, pray for health, happiness, and holiness. And I went, that's my third wish. Okay, Lord, I want holiness. And then I knew that was the balance. That was the, the Trinity, the three, the health, the happiness, the holiness. So it's like, don't pray about money. Don't worry about money. God will provide. But if you're not healthy and you have all the money, and health, happiness. Again, he called us to be Jeremiah 29:11. He called us to be filled with a future full of hope and prosperity. Happiness, prosperity, happiness, not prosperity, money. Happiness, happiness, right? So health, happiness, and holiness. When we work, and holy, holy, like it's like, oh, that song just touches my heart because it's my third wish. So I don't know. What was the question you asked?
No, that was beautiful. No.
I forgot the question.
I just asked to describe your faith life, and
you're
clearly doing it. No, you're clearly. The holiness is an interesting one because today, the Catholic Church is celebrating the feast day of Saint John Paul II, and he told our young people many times that we are all called to holiness. We're all called to these things, right? So beautiful connection. And yes, Don Bosco, we love him. And our kids love them. As we introduce them to them at these retreats, by the end of the 3 days together, they don't want to leave. They want to stay because the community's been formed. Anyways, one last question.
Okay.
And then before we go, I'll let you let everyone know how to get in touch with Sarah Elizabeth Center, perhaps, or anything like that. So last question. Now, we do this segment primarily for our young people, who are, as I said in the introduction, always looking for happiness, true happiness, looking to find out what their gifts are and how to share them. If there was anything you can tell all of our young listeners, our high school students, our young adults, maybe in college, university, what would you tell our young people? What would you like to say to them?
I guess in a way, Angelo, it's like how I close the retreats, right?
Yes,
it's like a whole day's experience. Yes. And it's like, okay, you got to take something with you because you've got to experience the presence of young people that we're all different, and we're okay. So like even in this talk, like they've heard something, whatever, but how do you bring it all to a close, right? Okay, that's where we're going. So I guess like, and you've heard me say, not because I repeated, I did it purposely, that I said the word journey, like it's a journey. We're all on a journey from the day that we are formed in our mother's womb, not the day we are born. The day we are formed in our mother's womb, we are formed. He called us by name. He sends us on earth for a purpose and a plan. And there is a purpose and a plan for each and every one of us. Okay, so we're on a journey. But then what people always end up doing, like they go on a trip and they see the destination, but it's not the destination. The destination is important because we're all called to, like we said, holy and all that, and our destination is to go back home. Okay, but the thing is, yes, our eyes on the destination, but let's not miss out on the journey together. We've got a journey together, okay? We got to take that journey together so that then you don't want to get there alone. You want to make sure you bring as many people with you. So it's a journey that we want to do together, okay? And then obviously we know where the destination is that we want to go. So it's definitely a journey. You've heard me say that. The other two things that I've said a lot is connect, listen, okay? So we have to bring those into the forefront. So journey, but in this journey, you have to know, even if you go on vacation alone, like my son Joseph, he loves vacation alone, but when he goes alone, he's also connecting, and he's still doing that. And the experiences he's having by meeting all these different people proves correctly what I'm trying to teach, which is all about connections. You're not on this earth to walk it alone. You're not. We're called to connect with each other on earth. And he gives us a family, he gives us a spiritual family, a real family, okay? So he gives us that connection on earth, but he gives us that connection in heaven. And if that's where we're still growing, don't worry, you're on a journey. God will help you move in the direction of finding that connection with him. Maybe the real profound time for me was when Sarah was born, that if I didn't even believe, you cannot doubt that his hand was there. Anyway, that's his amazing grace, okay? So the connection, we don't walk this path, this journey alone. And then listen. How do you listen? What do we teach these kids that come to Sarah Elizabeth Center is, what did you learn today? How did you listen to someone who didn't even verbally communicate to you? And yet you knew that you connected with them. Why? Because they gave you a smile? Why? Because Maddie maybe moved his leg, that was his way of, because that's the most part that he can move it, or he used his little iPad or whatever. The point is, the communication came. So listening. So you listen. How? With the ears of your heart. And how do you listen? You listen by, like I was saying, signs, symbols, dreams, visions, human angels, ghosts, whatever God wants to do. Listen And don't miss out on the little details, the brief encounters, that's what I'm saying. It's there. It's happening always, always around. So if you spent a day and you felt like, what a sucky day. Well, wait a minute. Did you create something new? Okay, maybe you could throw that one in too. Like every day we can create something new, like create something new. You're on a journey. Where did you go today? Did you just sit at home and do nothing? But even sitting at home, you could still pray. You could still meditate. You could still write a letter. You could still phone. You could text. You can listen to an Instagram at 8 o'clock on Angelo on Thursdays. You know, there's things you can do, right? So it's like you can connect, right? And then listen, really listen. So, I had a dream last night. I wonder what the Lord's trying to tell me. Oh, you know who I met? You know, I was thinking of that person and I saw them today. Really? Do you really think it happened by chance? Or could it be providential? That God is always talking and we have to listen. So, journey, connect, listen. There's the three: health, happiness, holiness. Okay, so they say JCL. I don't know, JCL.
Yeah.
Journey, connect, listen. I don't know, but anyway, that's what I would say.
Very good. Very good. You have been so gracious with your time tonight. Like honestly, I knew we would go over. I just didn't want to tell you.
How much over did we go? Oh my God, Angelo! If we had to pay for this, God provided. It's okay.
Hey, just one final thing then. If anyone wanted to get in touch with Sarah Elizabeth Center, where would we find you? What can you share some information about Sarah Elizabeth Center? Yeah.
You know how they're all on Facebook and all these things.
Yes.
Okay, so if they just remember Sarah Elizabeth Center, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, we have a lot of YouTube presentations. Yes. Then from there, you can click on it. It'll take you even to our website. And then on the website, we kept it as Blue Veil Charity. So www.blueveil.org. Okay, so the Blue Veil kind of has the website, and then from there, my number's there. They can always connect with me. They connect with you to connect to me. I'm sure that we'll
very
connect.
Good, right? Very good. Listen, Cris, it's been a real pleasure.
My God!
And there was never a doubt that if we got you to come on, because we had to convince you, right? If we could,
it's just like, what do you need to hear a story you've heard already?
But we knew it would be an incredible segment. I can tell you from the followers I've been seeing all night, the kind of traffic on here, this is probably the most, most attended segment we've had. No, really, I mean that.
Probably 8 of them are my kids.
No.
Remember, I have a large family.
That's right. So listen, I know we haven't had a chance to really come and visit or to be with you guys.
Oh my God, I miss you guys. I know.
We miss you too. Let everyone say hello to everyone for us, all your coworkers. Say hello to all those beautiful young people that still attend the center.
I will.
And
if you ever have a chance to maybe do a Zoom thing, virtual thing, we got a smart board. I won't know how to do it, but my staff will do it.
Yes.
So let's do that. Maybe we could have a 20-minute, let's do some
singing.
And Johnny can sing some songs, all right?
That's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say goodbye to you again.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask Nicholas Felice to come on because we always talk about next week's guest for like a few minutes.
Okay.
But Cris, listen, God bless you. We love you so much. You are amazing. You are amazing.
I love you guys.
Thank you for everything, Cris. Good night.
Okay. All the best. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right. So to all of our followers, we're just going to have Nicholas come on real quickly. We'll talk a little bit about next week, and then we'll call it a night. Hey, Nicholas.
Hey.
Hey, what'd you do with your hair? Did you pull it all back?
I had to pull it back because it's getting annoying.
Nice. So, did we have a doubt? Was that not incredible?
No, that was amazing. I've heard that story, I think, at least 5 times by now, but I can listen to it 1,000 times more. Like, it's so inspirational. She's so amazing.
Oh my goodness. And you're right. Every time she shares that story, she kind of said it too. It's like you get something else out of it, right? Like it's never old. Right?
No.
So yeah, cool. So next week's guest, Nick, is?
Next week's guest is Miss Vincent.
Yeah! Now she is really nervous. Like she is really nervous, eh?
Really?
Yes.
No, she has.
We're on every Friday. For those of us who know, we're on our Bound segment. We talk chaplaincy 101, if you will. And she's great. We have this great banter. But she's afraid that it's going to be different on Spilling Tea. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's going to be great, right? So
she'll be fine. I can't wait. It's honestly, these segments are getting better and better. Like it's been amazing.
Listen, we've got work to do because we're booked till Christmas, but we're going to have to plan a whole second semester here, right? So we'll figure it out. Anyways, Nick, again, as always, thank you for everything. And as soon as we get some pictures and stuff from Ms. Vincent, we'll start posting those as well. And thank you to everyone for following us tonight. We had a wonderful, wonderful following tonight. So good night, everyone. We love you. Thanks so much. And we'll see you next week on Spilling Tea. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.